Welcome to Co-op Mode, round 128. This is the official video game podcast of Secret Friends Unite. I am one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra, from beautiful Sauvage, Minnesota, with a dusting of snow on the ground. Joined by the Canadian Mark Carabin. He's in the middle of a twister. He might be going to Oz. He might be sucked up by a typhoon by Namor and Arthur Curry. We don't know. Mark, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, it is very windy here, but we don't have any snow. I said that today because it was like rain and wind and a little craziness, but still no snow. So I'll take that while I can get it.
Very, very good. Well, we are joined by a friend of the show. He was our first Co-op Mode guest. He's been around for many, many years, from the original part of the podcasting group, I would say, across all many different networks. I don't know how many podcasts have gone and failed in the meantime and resurrected, but we're talking about our friend Lee Navarro, the leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Nation. My goodness, Lee, welcome back.
Hey, I'm back. All right, I made it finally. After how many attempts at me coming back on this show? I mean, that was a long time coming, but thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so glad to be back on the show with you, gentlemen. This is exciting for me to always be on here with you guys. Always good to chat it up with some fellow awesome nerds as yourself. So yeah, I'm excited.
Lee, the PC impresario. He is the man that if there's a new PC gaming peripheral monitor, GPU, Lee is always the first to know and always the first to tell you he needs to upgrade his PC. So
yeah.
And if you have any questions about PCs, what to do, Lee's the man for you.
I've tempered myself on the upgrade path lately, so I've kept it nice and cool. The only thing I've upgraded is I bought myself a GPU bracket so that my GPU doesn't fall off my computer. However, turns out my case may not actually fit well with it. So I was just talking to the wife about it. It looks like I'll be getting a new case.
Of course. Your your GPU peg leg isn't. I think I have mine right here. Actually, I do have mine right here. I never used it because I think it's good. It's a 4070. But yeah, that's what it is, Mark. When you get a PC GPU peg leg, you put in there to prop it up. Because those things are.
Mine is this whole entire piece that spans the length of the GPU, and of course, because I'm that guy, it has RGB on it, so
of course.
Why not? Why the hell not?
Of course. Yeah. Has to. Well, very good. So, Lee, you know what? Thank you for joining us. Your passion is Extra Life. You guys had a huge event. Many of the podcasting gaming community royalty join you. That event, and I know it's still, Extra Life doesn't end with that one day. So I don't know if you want to give us an update where things are at with Extra Life and how people can participate.
Yes, absolutely. So we held our event this past November. It was on November 4th. My birthday. So that was a lovely day to spend.
Birthday twinsies here.
My birthday twin over here, Mark Carabin. Overall, we had a fairly successful Extra Life game day this year. Fundraising is still going on until December 31st. So if you just head on over to phoenixoverdrive.com, you can find a link to our Extra Life team page, and you can choose to donate to any numerous members of our team. We are currently sitting at $21,000, a little bit over $21,000 raised, which is halfway to our goal of $40,000. So we're hoping to just get as much as we can before the end of the year, because every dollar counts. We are so grateful and so appreciative of everybody who supported us and who has been there with us from start to finish. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has given us the time of day to either fundraise or even just spread the word. It's always a fantastic cause. It's something that, as you alluded to, Todd, I am very passionate about it, and it means a lot that we have people from all over just coming to us to spend a literal whole day playing video games, fundraising, just the camaraderie and the friendship, all of it. It's just so meaningful. So we're hoping to expand as the years go on, and hopefully one of these years, you gentlemen can come down and join us and be a part of it all. Hint hint, nudge nudge. This coming year will be our 10th anniversary as Phoenix
Wow.
Overdrive. So I can't believe it. I said we started off in a Ramada in 2014. I'm sorry, in 2013 as a different team. 2014 we became Phoenix Overdrive officially, and I remember our first year was playing at our local hospital in their senior rehabilitation center. Um, we were happy to reach maybe $1,500, I believe, that first year, and here we are, well over
Wow.
$21,000 raised, and officially in our 9 years of existence so far, we have raised over $100,000 for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all over. That is an amazing, amazing feat of just the spirit of philanthropy that we have come across through everybody who has been with us. So, um, and as a mark of pride for us, I believe that Phoenix Overdrive hopefully will end up for the third year in a row as a top 50 team for Extra Life. So just outstanding stuff, and I'm just so proud of everybody, so thankful for everybody who have been a part of this journey with us so far.
Wow.
Lee, not to brag, but in my 2 years that I actually did something, because unfortunately it falls when my son's birthday is and everything like that. I raised about $250 over 2 years. I mean, I know that's just humble brag right there, and I think
Listen,
Mark was live streaming from a tattoo
he
parlor.
was.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
did.
Yeah, I got my Jedi tattoo one year. That's 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, he put content that he normally saved for his OnlyFans, and he just gave it to you guys for free. I mean, come on.
I remember there were a couple
It's
people that tuned in. It was just like, oh, you're not in like immense pain. I'm out of here. Like, come on.
more
You
pain.
weren't
I'll pretend
taking
I'm
any
hurting if you
suggestions,
donate
Mark.
$20.
No
Yeah,
pain, no gain, Mark. No pain, no gain.
yeah,
That's it.
Let's go.
yeah. You know what? If you want to put it out there, Mark, my face would look really good, like on your shoulder, maybe, or it's a tramp stamp.
There we go.
Hey,
That's what
there you
I'm just thinking across my entire back, just
Ooh, that'd be very good.
full on. Yeah.
Yeah. Loren would,
or maybe Mark and I
all
can
the
get twin tattoos of some type.
very good. Yeah,
There we go.
I like
Birthday
that. I
buddy
like that.
tattoos.
Yeah.
Well,
I
very
sadly do
good.
not have a tattoo yet because I did, one of those things that it just never occurred to me. But one of these days, I think.
Never
I
too
think one of
late.
these days.
Never too
Birthday
late.
buddy live stream tattoo.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. You guys can like spiritually hold each other's hands while you're tears of joy runs down your face.
Or we can just do it
Oh.
here live. We
Oh,
got a
that's
couple
true.
tattoo
Yeah.
parlors here.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a goal to go to there because we have a lot of friends that participate and would love to be around that big of a group of gamers. That would be amazing.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's
Yeah.
it's such a great event to put together, and just like I said, just to see the camaraderie and the foolishness that occurs over the 24 hours. This year we had our event coordinator Tyler put together a mini Mario Party live event, basically, where our participants actually did actual challenges throughout the course of the day, ending in a time trial on carts in the track that was located above the rec gym that we were located in.
Oh my goodness.
So there was a time
That's
trial.
I love that.
That's so awesome.
It was a ton of fun, let me tell you.
Well, that's awesome. Well, once again, Lee will plug, but it's phoenixoverdrive.com. Check it out there for Extra Life. You can join the team if you want to as well. That's a big part of it too. So your donations go to that team, so contributes. That's what I've done in the past. I've been part of the team. And now that I got a better PC, I can actually do some streaming. So I should probably do that. I just don't know if people want to watch me play. But you know what? Maybe I should, if they don't support me, I will stream. Maybe that's the more effective use of my lack of gaming
Pay
talent.
Todd to stop streaming.
Exactly. Last
end
time
the pain?
it did
Is
not
that
go
what you're
very
asking
well.
them to do? End the
Yeah,
pain?
exactly. Yeah, it's like the yeah. Perfect. So with that, now it's time to thank our Patreons. These are the folks that make our podcasting network happen. It's been a lot of fun. Mark had an awesome interview with Timothy Zahn. That's great content that I believe is available now. So check
Yeah.
that out if you like that. And we just did record a more new episode of Spinner Rack, and Charlie's just chugging out all those shows that he loves to talk with people. So check out his stuff as well. But those folks who support us is Corey and HD, John Sedorf, the Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, and Brendan Myers for Friends with Benefits. And Mark, we've got a new person that I think you should
Yep.
talk about as a Patreon.
Asian Sith Mistress. I just interviewed her on Holocron Chronicles, and she messaged me immediately after the show, and said, "Where can I go to support the network?" And I said, "That's not necessary. As like a guest, I'm not getting guests to try to get Patreon supporters or some kind of thing." She's like, no, let's go. And so she jumped on as a new Patreon supporter, and we very much appreciate that. So Asian Sith Mistress, I'm hoping you're checking out some of the other shows. Thank you so much. If anyone has not yet listened to her episode of Holocron Chronicles, we talked about the finale of Ahsoka. We talked about a bunch of other stuff, her entry into Star Wars and different Star Wars news and that kind of stuff. And she does some amazing cosplay content. Her Fennec Shand, her second sister, are just like the suits that she has are top tier. And for any fans of Ahsoka, she's going to be doing a lightsaber giveaway that I don't want anyone to win because I want to win that. So I shouldn't be telling you about it right now. But Asian Sith Mistress, go follow her on Instagram. And again, thanks for coming on the show and supporting us on Patreon. It's awesome.
Very, very cool. Love when new members come on, so thank you very much. Also want to thank our BFFs, Sean, Stella, and Henry Nias, and Missy Merchant. So, Mark, when we do get a new member in the Friends with Benefits tier or the BFF tier, we assign them a power-up. Video game power-up, Lee. So, you know what? And we've kind of changed the rules over time. So sometimes Mark like makes it like real power-ups in life that you can use. So I was just saying like it's something you always get in a video game as a power-up. So either way, either one works. So with that, Mark, do you have one for Asian Sith Mistress?
This might be an easy, cheaty kind of answer. I'm just gonna say the Force. I think if someone deserves the Force, that's it's been in enough video games. I think some of the cool Force powers that we've seen in the Jedi Fallen Order Survivor series, I think she'd put to good use because despite the name, she's actually pretty good. You know, I think she'd kind of use it for mostly for good. Um, Maybe a little bit in that gray area, but I don't think she goes straight on Sith power with it. So I'm giving her the Force. I'm not giving her Force lightning abilities.
Oh,
So ASM, no lightning. You gotta try to use this for good. You get the lightning if you behave. Don't melt Chewie's spaceship. But there you go. That's it. So ASM gets the Force just straight up.
Lee, do you have a power-up in mind for Asian Sith Mistress?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, Mark already pretty much went the easy way with this one, so that's what I would have gone with. I'm not sure. I really
If you
don't
want to
know.
go with the Force, I have another one that I could go with.
Or I was going to say, Lee, go into like your World of Warcraft knowledge. What would be a helpful power up within World of Warcraft?
What would be a helpful power up? Well, seeing as my favorite class to play in World of Warcraft is a hunter, there used to be a spell. This is many iterations ago. It was called Bestial Wrath, where you were able to kind of go in a rage, get enraged, and both you and your pet would actually grow big and red, kind of like a Sith, almost like a Darth Maul type of thing. So you know what, good call, Todd. I'll go with that one. And basically, it increases your ability to deliver damage throughout 18 seconds. It was more appropriately named Big Red Kitty mode.
I like that.
like that. I like that too. Well, I'm going to take a little turn because Asian Sith Mistress, from what I've seen, uh, looks pretty cool. You know, appearance, the garb, everything. So I'm going to say this. I'm gifting her the ability to never take any battle damage. So it will always look immaculate. No holes,
No,
you know,
no,
no
no.
like things like, burn marks, holes, like anything, just immaculate garb. So whether it's new upgrades and everything like that, just resistant to damage. So always look sharp.
There you go.
On the show, she did mention her original, the first cosplay helmet she had. It's gotten some of those dings and scratches and stuff that you get from just dragging it around everywhere. She goes great photo locations in like the woods and different things, but she's like the helmet's taking some damage. So that's a good one. You keep her suit in pristine
She gets in both in
condition.
games and in
Yeah,
real
and
life. Yeah.
in real life too. Yeah,
If she's got Jordans, always
I like it.
spiffy, never get a scuff mark.
Yep.
Well, very, very cool. And if you are listening this on a free trial, stick around. Patreons don't get ads. So if you're getting ad on the show and you don't like the ads, join up. And if you're, become a patron, you could get a power up as well. So check it out, and we hope to hear from you soon. So with that, we get into one of our favorite parts of the show. This one I made a little bit easy, but apparently not so easy because some people didn't know what to pick. So I picked game environments, call it game settings, whatever you want to call it. And it's basically, we all know about video games. They always have like those evergreen levels types. So it's like your fire lava level, your water level, underwater level, and your ice level. There's others too: desert, jungle, space. There's other ones, caverns, whatever you want to call it. So I picked these because some people love them, some people despise them. I mean, there's some infamous ones based on like the ability to traverse, survive it, and then some games just basically say, we're not going to punish you. And some games they just love the punishment aspect of it. Like in some games, for some reason, characters just die when they go in water. I don't know. They can't swim, they can't float. I just always found that
Mhm.
annoying. I'm not sure why. Or you go into something but you take damage versus being able to swim. So that was what I picked. So I picked the fire lava level, water level, and ice level.
Oof.
And Mark, do you want to just say, like, we'll start with our members in the group, if you want to go with that
Yeah.
one.
Absolutely, yeah. So the one that you mentioned before, um, the answered by not answering. We've got Slosh Ritter in the Discord chat saying each one depends on the game and implementation. So I don't know. I don't even know. So we're gonna say all right. That's fair because it does really depend on the game, and I'm having a little struggle with that internally. So I'm picking up what you're throwing down. But the one that did answer, we've got Brendan Myers, aka the Winter Gamer, buying ice levels because I love the challenge of ice, renting water levels because they always seem to be easy for me, including the water temple in Ocarina of Time. Listen, Brennan,
Humble brag.
I don't even hear it from you anymore right now. I'm just joking. I love you, bud. And return fire/lava stages just because it means automatic death, which is usually, yeah, that's fair.
All right, Lee, you're our guest. So what will you buy, and what will you return, and what will you rent?
I'm going to have to agree with Brendan Myers here, just because I do enjoy ice levels a little bit more. If I could think of like any ice level, like let's go back to my favorite game, World of Warcraft. I absolutely enjoyed Northrend, the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, because it was just all set in the northern part of the world, Azeroth. Just a lot of my favorite fights were in there. So that ice level, if you want to call it that, it was just such a wonderful expansion. Rent, I would definitely agree with him as well as about water level, just because they're I don't want to say they're easy, but they're manageable to endure. If I think about Mario, I you're able to kind of float around and um, I don't want to say always be able to avoid whatever traps there are, but it works out well for the player. And fire lava levels, get out of here with those. I hate them with a passion. I really do. It's just not fun, especially when you have to jump around and try to avoid dropping into the fire. Some games allow you to take damage into fire, but
Mm.
others it's an insta death, and I just nope, I'm out of here.
Right. All right. Okay. We'll take it. Yeah, I totally get it. Because I was thinking,
Mhm.
like when you mentioned the ice level, I just thought, I don't know if WoW has like environmental like hazards
It
or if
does.
it's just the environment that's
There's
cooler.
definitely environmental hazards. Like
Okay.
even in water, you can go underwater and um you can there's a timer where you can stay underwater for a specific amount of time. Of course, some classes allow you to be able to breathe underwater, so you don't take any damage, but others you gotta get out of there until at the very last moment. So, um, but when it comes to fire, I remember there's some sections in there where you drop into the lava, and yeah, you can try to swim out of it, but good luck because you're going to take serious damage depending on your character, depending on your armor and everything else like that too. So. Yeah, no, I still don't like fire or lava levels at in anything.
I agree. Lava sucks. Well, in real life. Mark, what are your picks?
I've got a similar reasoning for my buy as like I love the challenge of ice, that Brennan said and that Lee kind of backed up there, but I'm gonna choose fire for that one. I always like what fire and lava stages bring in terms of a challenge. There's fireballs coming at you. It looks cooler. It just looks more badass and menacing. So fire stages, I'm always on my A game. I'm always ready to go. I'm always looking for a fireball, making sure I don't fall into something. Like there's a reason that the big lightsaber battle in episode 3 happens on Mustafar and not on Hoth. It's because fire is cool, it's badass, and it's menacing, and that's where you want like some kind of a big crazy battle or just like a cool challenge or whatever. So like that's the stage where like stuff's going down. So that's the one I'm gonna pick for my buy. For my rent, I am going to agree with both of you. I'm going to pick a water level, not because they're always easy, because they're not always easy, but like there's just something I like about a cooling, nice kind of water stage that sometimes they're a little bit more fast paced. I'm thinking of like the Mario 3D World games where you ride on the back of that Nessie kind of creature thing, Plessy, and they're kind of zipping down a water slide kind of terrain. Um, of course, like Wave Race, I can't. You got to go give a little credit to Wave Race. But then there's some other ones where the water temple is not great. Like Ocarina of Time, not as bad as Majora's Mask. That water temple can just go away. That's why this is a rent for me. I real life, I'm hanging out at the beach all day. Don't bring me near lava. I want the beach. That's a whole different story. But video games, I'm going fire, water, and then ice. Like I said, I'm not quite ready for snow yet, IRL, and it's kind of feeling the same. Ice stages, they're always slippery. You can't like it's just sometimes it's implemented well, but I find 9 times out of 10 it's just a pain in the arse. You're just it's a game that has like floaty mechanics, and then you throw ice into there, and it's just like, get this away from me. It's a challenge that like I don't know, just sometimes it feels like it's not well implemented. So like ice levels, sometimes if they're done well, oh man, they're so good. But other times, um, they're just annoying. So I'm going to return ice levels and just kind of flip around what Lee and Brennan Myers said.
That's shocking coming from a Canadian.
I don't.
Yeah. I guess the ice levels hit close to home, so I'm like, I don't
I
want
guess
to.
so.
Video games are my escape.
No,
Leave
that's true.
leave the ice for the. Although Todd, I get if you're getting snow already, how you feeling about this? What's is that implement?
Yeah.
Is that
We
affecting your
had snow.
choices here? You're like, there's enough snow outside.
We had snow the week before Halloween. I mean, come on. I
Sweet
mean, it's.
mercy.
I know it's fantastic. Yeah, I almost fell on my chair because I was thinking about that. It was so bad. But, I'm like taking Schloss's viewpoint, but I will actually commit because I'll explain myself because it all depends on
Call him out.
implementation. So, um, fire lava, I will buy. To your point, Mark, I think can be fun, and I've never felt like it's really inhibited my style of play. Like it hasn't been like, oh, this cheated or something like that. So the only game I think that changed my viewpoint on environmental areas was Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom, because
Right.
in the fire lava world, you die because of just the heat. So that
Mhm.
drives me nuts. But in the other term, it can kill you because you're too cold. The water one was just kind of like it really didn't do much to you. So that's where I was like, oh, water had the least impact in that game. But those extreme elements just made me want to kill somebody because I didn't have the right armor or something. Made it like unenjoyable at that point, you know. But I also liked, but if you are well equipped, it was actually fun. I like the fire. I like the heat when I'm in a game, not in real life. I'm a creature of habit. I live in Minnesota because I like it cold. So, but in this way, I do enjoy like I always think of Mario with fire, the fireballs that come up. I always enjoy it. They never annoy me. So I'm buying the lava fire levels. I am renting water with one caveat. I hate when you run out of air. I hate that with water levels, and also 3D traversal in water. It can be horrible. It can, if it's done horribly wrong, it's painful. That's where I'm like, caveat, if it's done well, I don't mind water because I do like the fun of going through the water, the different, like even just Mario Wonder, playing that. It's a lot of fun, and you get to use that dolphin kick, and you can do fast things, and you can have fun with it. So that's why I'm saying like water normally doesn't annoy me as long as even it's like Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, they just give you a breather. I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you. I don't want to have to worry about finding where the air bubble is, and it drives me nuts. So I'm just gonna rent water. It's inoffensive to me, but it can be annoying. So I'm gonna say that's the one that can annoy me, but usually I'm okay with it. But then ice, yes. I mean, I even put a picture of Crash Bandicoot because I remember those ice levels, like impossible to control, totally frustrating. So many deaths caused because of bad traction. I mean, come on, Crash, get some Goodyear tires on your feet. Come on, some snow tires. I don't care, but yeah, I mean, I just think of that damn level in Super Mario 64 where you're taking that penguin, you're chasing that penguin down that slide, and I died so many. I'm like, that's why I stopped playing that game. It's the worst thing in the world. I hated that so much. And like I said, I hate freezing to death in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom until you get the right thing or eat all the food. It's tiresome. Ice is tiresome, you know?
I get that. I get that.
So
So
there you
Understood.
Todd
go.
and I agreed for once.
I
Yeah.
think so. Was that across the
Holy.
board?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a rare
Wow.
occurrence.
My
All it
goodness.
took was for me to come on the show.
That's it.
You know what? If this can happen, world peace. We're like a month away. Just that easy. Just that easy.
That's all it takes.
Well, there you go. Let us know what your buy, rent, or return is. And if you have suggestion for future topics, let us know, because after a while, Mark's going to be like, what is Todd going to pull out of his hat? And it'll probably be worse next time. So with that, we're going to talk about what we're actually gaming. So Lee, I know you were telling me, Extra Life is still, you haven't been able to reassemble the battle station. You have like
Right.
a 40, is it a 49-inch monitor on one level? And then you've
Yes.
got another monitor above it. It's just too much. My ADHD could not handle that. I need real world. But with that, when you are gaming, is there anything new? I mean, you back at World of Warcraft? I mean, what's the new?
prior, well, before Extra Life, really, and actually during Extra Life, one of the games that I really started to get into was Starfield.
Oh,
It's just such a treat to play that on my rig. I really did enjoy it. I don't experience like what I mean. I experience it in a way that is fun for me. So people who complain about some of the settings or whatever, I ignored it, and I just enjoyed the hell out of it. Um, During Extra Life, I for some reason really played a lot of Flight Simulator. It was just so much fun to just play, and one of the things that I did was try to fly around to like where people live. So coming out of the an airport close by. Just that, or there was the Top Gun DLC stuff that was going on in there. So I was flying the experimental jet that was in Top Gun. So that was fun to play. That was fun to use in Flight Sim, and because I do have my own the throttle and the joystick, so it's so much more immersive, especially on that 49-inch monitor. So definitely, yeah, definitely those were my top two that I really invested a lot of time into as leading up to Extra Life. And unfortunately, like you mentioned, I haven't had a chance to put my battle station back together because life in general just taking over, and not really focusing on that. But yeah, that's it's probably going to be something I'll after I get my desk back together. I'll definitely be hopping back onto those two games at least. And into the new year, and depending on and Diablo 4 was another one too that I was getting into because it's a game my wife and I like to play together. She also has cousins who that's the four of us. That's what we play together. So we enjoyed that as well. So yeah, that's those are pretty much my three that I've been dabbling into. Um, might probably just jump right back into World of Warcraft again because I can't ever get away from it. It's it's like that mistress that you just have to keep coming back to over and
oh
over
my
and over.
goodness! Don't tell your wife.
Listen, she knows about my mistresses here being my gaming rig and World of Warcraft. She's also an addict just like me.
Yeah, that's a
We're
that.
we're, we're WoW addicts.
Works.
Can't ever stop.
Did the Avatar content come up for Flight Simulator where you could fly the or no, it was Dune, right? Was it Dune
I
where you
don't
could fly the
know.
copter within Dune?
I don't recall seeing that, but it may have been. I played Flight Sim through Game Pass, so I don't necessarily I didn't
Oh,
necessarily get all the
gotcha. Yeah.
DLCs and everything. But the only DLC I really got into was the Top Gun one, just because I really wanted to fly that experimental jet that he flew in the movie.
Oh yeah,
That's a
it's
ton of fun.
in. Yeah, the Dune expansion was announced. You're flying around Arrakis in
Okay,
the God, what is that little thing that called that little flycopter? I think it's
yeah,
what it's called. It's a
the
cool little vehicle, and you can see like the worms, and you can
yeah.
go in. And I mean, I love the fact that Microsoft could expand that and just say
Hmm.
any world that Microsoft has a game within, like Gears of War, Halo, you can fly a vehicle around it in Flight Simulator. That would be pretty cool.
I love it. I
Very.
love it. It's a ton of fun. Really, if you, especially like I said, playing it in with a big 49-inch monitor right in front of me, this curved monitor, it's just so much fun.
Hmm,
Well, that
awesome.
expansion released on November 3rd, 2023. So when you do get back to it, if you want to open up the purse strings, you can pay for that expansion, Lee.
I think I will.
Since the movie's not coming out until 2024 now, so
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
we gotta wait, gotta bide our time. Well, very very cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a flight sim guy, but I would love it if that team could take that tech and make a new Crimson Skies.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, another game that I thought would be I've got to try it out with it is Ace Combat.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know, I wish I had gotten it when it was on sale in Game Pass. I think it was like $9, but
Mm.
I didn't have a chance to at that point. But that's definitely another one that I'd love to just try as far as a flight sim. I just love flight sim games excuse me, in general. Growing up, I enjoyed the hell out of Simcopter. If you guys remember that, that was a ton of fun to play,
Yeah,
especially
there
when
used to be
the
a ton like
aliens invaded.
yeah, there was that Apache game. I remember
Yes.
back in the day,
Yep.
Army helicopter. There was a bunch of there was a World War II. Was it World War One game?
Yeah.
Uh, with your basically you're taking on the Red Baron and things like that. So
Yep.
yeah, very very cool. Oh my goodness. It's funny because I've got a lot of one of my cousins and my son's my friend's son are both pilots. So I
There you
always
go.
tell them get into flight simulator when you can't get your plane up. Do that.
Yeah.
You'll have a blast.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Well, very, very good. Mark, what have you been gaming,
Yeah.
man?
I've been playing. So one thing I didn't write here, it's not in the show notes, but I got back into Vampire Survivor,
Oh,
which is just
Such a good
amazing.
game.
I just got it on Switch, so I'm just kind of like doing little sessions here and there and everywhere, which is fantastic. I love it. The new stuff I've been
did
playing.
the story stuff come out? Like, there's like story missions and
Yeah,
things.
there's
No.
two new DLC missions. But I've been just kind of replaying the base game. I'm gonna grab the DLC. Um, probably I see, and that's the thing, and it's pretty cheap DLC, so I might try it in one place because I have jumped back in on my Xbox too. But I've been really putting a decent amount of time in getting it on my Switch and kind of leveling up and going through the paces there. So um, I don't know where I'm going to get the DLC, but I'm going to get it soon. So that will happen. But the other game that I've been playing a lot, the new game I've been playing, is I am an Outright Games ambassador. I was said on this show before, and that affords me some new Outright Games releases every once in a while, which is awesome. And the newest one that I've been playing is the Bluey video game. For any parents who have Disney Plus and young kids, I'm sure you're familiar with Bluey. If you're not, the cartoon is delightful. It is a parenting show that's like masquerading as a kids show. It's phenomenal, and your kids will laugh, but like you'll also just see episodes that you're like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna just feel that today. Okay, cool. Like it's an amazing Australian show about a family of cute blue heeler dogs and their adventures. So the video game is good. IGN gave it a pretty horrendous score, and it seems like IGN gave it a 4. But it also has a 9 out of 10 on Steam right now. So reviews are all over the place. I am real like I'm really curious. I don't know who reviewed it over at IGN. I probably should have like gone to check that out beforehand, but I don't know if they have kids or like if that factored into their decision
Well, I did read
whatsoever.
that review too. They said they're a huge fan of the show, and
Oh,
they were
okay. All right.
essentially, yeah. I think from a viewpoint, he definitely doesn't have kids, from what I understood.
Okay.
So from that viewpoint, he was probably thinking, what's there for fans of Bluey, maybe.
Mm.
But
So
yeah,
as a fan of Bluey, I thought the game's execution was excellent. It's all voice acted by the original actors, as far as I can tell. I didn't like there wasn't any glaring obvious like, oh, that's a weird replacement, or like, oh, that's a sound alike. It sounded like an episode of the show. It is a very short game. It only takes an hour or two to beat.
oh,
Completion. You might go around getting collectibles for another couple of hours or whatever. However, actually, no, I'll keep going on the negative stuff first. I did have two I'll say breaking game pausing bugs that just like needed a full restart of the game, not of my console or anything. There was one where an object just got stuck that I had to move. It seemed like the object kind of duplicated itself, so it wouldn't move. It would move, but there would still be a copy of itself in the original location that the moving one would then get caught on. Really weird thing. Then the other one, I could hear things, but the screen was just black. That was it. So both cases, quick back to the Xbox home screen, jump back in the game, and everything's fixed. Um, so annoying. Hopefully, could be patched. I'm sure. Like again, I was playing it with the release date code and whatever. So that's the bad stuff out of the way. It's short. It's there two bugs before we finish the game. The great stuff about this game, I think, for me, overwhelmingly just kind of leave the negative stuff in the dust. Because again, it felt like an episode of the show. It was really well voice acted. It looks like an episode of the show. The whole, like the house, the creek, everything's there, just recreated from the show. All the characters are there. It's 4-player multiplayer and very easy to just jump in, pick one of the 4 main family members. It's mom, dad, Bluey, and Bingo, and just go. And I played this whole thing start to finish with my son Finn. He played some of it on his own. He is 3. If you need a reference level of how easy this game is to beat, there you go. It's not a challenging game, but I wouldn't want a Bluey game to be challenging because Finn wanted to play it. He wanted to pick up that controller. There was not a time that I started my Xbox up that he saw that icon on the screen and was like didn't say like, oh, let's play Bluey right now. The second he heard that chime, it was like, are we playing Bluey? Can we, like, that's what we're doing now? This is awesome. So, and there were times like even after we beat the main story of the game, which was delightful, made me think of like growing up and playing with like my brother and my cousins and just like the little adventures that we'd make for ourselves, and like they would go and like it was a really, again, Bluey quality level touching story. But like even after we finished that, Finn would make up his own games within that. So we'd drop back in the house and he'd say, let's go outside, let's go to the yard and play tag or play on the trampoline. He knows where stuff is in their house. And it's exactly, so we went out in 5 minutes. We just jumped on the damn trampoline. And then he wanted to play tag in their backyard. So, it was Bluey chasing Bingo around, and the characters are just, as soon as the characters touched on screen, we'd scream tag, you're it, and run the opposite direction. He talks to the characters like they can actually hear him, especially if they're computer controlled. So if the one of the mom or dad or something goes upstairs, he'll say, yeah, wait for me, mom. And like, chase them upstairs or whatever. Like he was 100% invested in this game, which for me was like, that's it. Like done. If I didn't get a code, that'd be worth the money. Fantastic experience. Is it going to be like a deep experience for someone who's not playing with a 3-year-old and a controller? No. Like, are you going to get a Bluey story? Yeah. But otherwise, like, I don't know, maybe wait for this to go on sale if you're up in the air, if you're not sure. But like for me, hand the controller to a 3-year-old and just watch some magic happen. That's like, that was it for me. Otherwise, yeah, I kind of understand where some of the lower scores are coming from and that kind of stuff. But yeah, absolute magic in a download code for my experience with it, for sure.
Very cool. I mean, half the fun is just in those games, just being in that world around the characters you love. I've played some licensed games that, to be honest, yeah, they're not the best thing in the world. But I mean, is it fun playing in those worlds as those characters? I mean, there's not been many great Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games, but I tell you, when you get to play as some of them, they're a lot of fun, and it's worth the experience. Or Avatar. There's not been a great Avatar: The Last Airbender game, but you know what? I'm hoping, and as long as they keep making them, they'll learn, and it'll be a good time. I mean, even like I hear about they may bring back Simpsons Hit and Run. I mean, I remember just going around Springfield. The game was the best thing in the world, but going to Moe's Tavern or the Quickie Mart, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. It's part of and the recreation of, again, of the locations and the vibe of the show is spot on in this. Like it just straight up just looks like you're looking at an episode of the show. Like there's there's certain bits that it's like once you control the character, like the opening of the game, it was just like you're controlling the characters. Like holy crap! Like this is just straight up an episode of the show. It was so good.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
So it was
I'm assuming
yeah,
there'll be
good.
some deals. There'll be some deals on the game, towards the
I'm guessing
holidays.
so.
So if that'll be make any kid, eyes light up when they see that game.
I think so. Yeah, if you're a big fan of the show and you have small kids that you are just learning, especially just learning how to play games, yeah, definitely a decent pickup. But again, with those game breaking bugs, make sure you're kind of close. I would have really felt bad if I wasn't playing along with Finn and he ran into those game breaking bugs and it was like, oh crap, he can't finish this game. So it was kind of lucky that I was there. I caught it right away. It was just like, oh, just a second, buddy. We just got to like reset this. Bluey needed to have a nap, and it just like right back in. 20 seconds later, we're back up and running. Quick load times, which is good. But I can see where that would frustrate a lot of people. And I'm not saying that the game's not broken. It definitely needs some patching. But again, for me personally, the pros outweighed the cons, but there are definitely still some cons. So take that as you will, and depending on your level of Bluey fandom, get it now or maybe wait for a sale. The last thing I've been playing is a ton of FortNite, trying to finish up this season. The OG Chapter 4 season OG is wrapping up this weekend. So by the time you're listening to this on Wednesday, we have a couple of more days to finish up challenges and levels and all that kind of shenanigans before the big season ender event on Saturday, December 2nd. If anyone's looking to join up, jump in. It's going to be a big bang event is what they're calling it. They're saying this is one to remember. We haven't had a good live event in a while, so I'm very excited for this one. And it's leaked already. So I'm sure any Fortnite fans have already seen this, but it looks like Eminem is going to be joining the game as a skin that you can get and also putting on a performance as part of this big bang event. So we're getting an Eminem crossover and
Wow.
and a big musical event as part of this Big Bang event, which looks kind of like a remix of I'm going to say the event that brought us into Chapter 2, I think, of where the rocket ship blasted up and opened up a portal. So this looks like kind of a remix of that, using the time machine that brought us to this OG level or OG season in the first place. So crazy story stuff going on. A lot of changes to the map this week that happened. I am loving this season. It's such a good throwback. Like we've talked about this before, Todd. Of like you love those throwback things, like WoW Classic and all that kind of stuff. Like this feels so good. I kind of don't want this season to go away already, but here we go. So anyone looking for a buddy to join up for the Big Bang event, hit me up in Discord, hit me on Instagram, and we'll figure out where we're dropping.
Mark, when you kept saying the Big Bang, I thought of Big Bang Theory. It's like Sheldon's going to be there, Penny. They're going to have a good time.
Would be great. Yeah.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
Will Wheaton will show up and you have to kill him.
That'd be a crossover.
Or he's wearing Flash t-shirts.
Just yeah, Howard Wolowitz dropping a really sick verse in the middle of an Eminem concert. That'd be I want to see that. That's the one I want.
Gotta have it. Everything's up for debate. Eminem, who is I don't know, is Eminem still a thing? I mean, I just feel like I'm from Michigan, he's from Michigan, 8 Mile. I mean, wow. Oh.
Yeah, I guess
middle-aged rappers. So. That's the life we're living in, right? Middle-aged rappers.
Yeah, he seems excited. He kind of started sharing stuff before FortNite did, so he's excited about the collaboration. He's sharing little teases and bits and pieces there. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm
Slim
I'm
Shady.
Yep.
Killing Mark. Look for it. Gotta love it. Dear Stan. Mark's gonna compose a song, and Dido. Where we go. Wow, that's a throwback. Oh well. Well, very, very cool. Fortnite's always evergreen in our podcast, so stay with it. Mark's the man. So check him out. I tried Fortnite once, and that led me to Alan Wake and recreating that.
Yeah.
It was very cool. So if they hear that they're doing more of those type of things, let me know. I'll check those things out
All right.
for fun. Which then leads me into what I've been playing, which is Alan Wake 2. Still in the game, and I tell you, I don't want to give any spoilers with this game, but I love the fact that they are merging live action with the basically the images of the characters in the game. It's pretty amazing. And this game is so meta, and it is so freaky, and it has spooked me on many occurrences. Like I'm just going down a path and all of a sudden these weird images pop up and I'm like, ah, I mean, and I'm playing on a PC, so my monitor is, I've got a widescreen, curved monitor, so it's very immersive, and it's only like Linos, and PC gaming, it's right in your face. So it's
Yep.
not like you're sitting at the couch. So anything that happens, you just feel more into the experience. So it's been amazing, but this game is so crazy because it's set in kind of like a Twin Peaks, X-Files type of environment where it's like the northwest of America, but you can definitely tell these are like people from like Finland because their accents are really weird. Their sensibilities, their accents drop in and out, so it's a little funky and weird at times, which I love because we have a lot of Minnesota oofta, Scandinavians, things like that. It makes sense for my people. Yeah, so I'm loving the game. It's great. I'm about halfway through. I thought it was farther along, but I'm not. And it is a game that is definitely I don't know if there's difficulty settings or not, but I'm definitely not looking for them at this point. But it does take some challenges. It's more survival horror. So once again, I know I've talked about the game, but I'm loving it. My goal is to get through this game and then move on to some other games because I just got Super Mario RPG in the mail, and because I was out of town for a week from GameFly, it arrived, but I couldn't get my mail. So it's sitting right here I could probably show you the cartridge. I mean, I could probably drop it out. You want me to do like a live licking a cartridge to see if they still lick? No, I'm
Yes.
not gonna do that.
Yes.
No,
Come
no, I'm
on.
not gonna. But it's right there. It's so small and I can't see it right. But there it is. I will be playing Super Mario RPG. I've never played it before, so I'm excited for it.
Like not even the
Mallow and
original? Yeah,
no,
nothing. Wow.
we
Okay.
known as
Really?
SNES, Mark. I was chasing girls.
It's been
You
on
were
the
just a young one.
Nintendo Switch Online. Come on.
No,
You
it's
gotta
actually
know
not. It's
you're not
only on the SNES Classic. It's not on
really?
SNES. No, it's not. So you got to play
Wow.
the SNES Classic, which I got. It's in my glass case of emotions over there.
Okay.
But no, it's not available on Nintendo Online, which is just crazy. So
Oh, that's
yeah, I
shocking.
mean, you
I
have
thought
to
it
get a
was. I really thought.
SNES Classic.
Yeah.
No, that's the
Okay.
weird part. So it's
So I have it
weird
on the
that the
classic and my RG35XX. So
yeah.
I've played
So
it
there
in
you go.
both of those places. I've never yeah, I
You
just
you
for
you
some
do
reason I
not want to have
assumed
a
it was
place to
on.
play it. You can play it anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
really.
weird.
And I
It's
have.
weird.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay. That's going to be an
Yeah.
experience for you. I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, I'm excited for it because that's the type of RPG I like, where it's more action focused. It's timed. It reminds me of the South Park RPG in a lot of ways. So I'm very excited for that.
Have
People have talked about Gino and Mallow, and I'm like, I don't know who these people are, but why are people so passionate for it? I mean, sure, there's like weird pictures of Mallow Gino that I want to see on the internet, but it's out there. So I don't know. So I'm
have you
excited for that.
played have you played any of the other Mario like RPG style games like the GBA games like Inside Story or even like the Paper Mario games like
I
any of
have
those?
played Paper Mario on the Wii,
Okay.
which I enjoyed. And I tried some of the other games. What was it? The one with the color splash. I fell off that pretty quick. I
Right.
think it was on the Wii U. And then, yeah, so it's like I just haven't found one that clicked, to be honest. And
Mm.
I've always wanted because I love the aesthetic and the way it looks. Just something like the mechanics. And people have said to a large extent, like it's like, oh, the Thousand Year Door Mario RPG are great, and it just seems like they've struggled. And then the best ones have been on the handhelds, and even some of those like Logan didn't like because like card mechanics. I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
nobody wants card
Yeah.
mechanics in their game, Mark. We
Yep.
know that.
Yep. Preach.
So there you
Preach.
go. Yeah, I'm excited for that. So, but the game I did play before I went on vacation was Modern Warfare 3.
Mm.
So I got it from GameFly, and if you're hearing about this game, it's because the team was only given 18 months to make this game. Everything, the online, the zombies, and also the campaign. And essentially, I think unless you're into it's funny because I'm not sure what people play. I think a lot more people play the campaign than a lot of people think. That's what I mainly play, and I play a little bit of the zombies. I don't really get into the Warzone or anything like that, which I know are hugely popular. So I think the main multiplayer is pretty popular. So I don't want to besmirch that because I didn't play any of that because it's not for me. But I have played Warzone a little bit, and it's not for me either. But what I normally dip into is the campaign and then zombies, and that
Yep.
they're both in this game. And I will tell you this: at this point, Call of Duty just feels like it's Warzone, and everything else is just bolted on. And that's really where they're focused. That's where the money is, and that's where they get the content. It's mobile. It's everywhere that you want to be. And I really feel at this point that the campaign was essentially DLC with Warzone. Like it's essentially here's a map, it's open world. It's lacking the Michael Bay, highly scripted, which I loved, which last year it had. I've always enjoyed all the campaigns, even the worst ones I've enjoyed. Ghosts, Vanguard, some of those haven't been great, but I've always enjoyed them. And Modern Warfare, its legacy that's the franchise that really drove Call of Duty to its success. So it was just like that. Though. You drop in and it's checkpoints, and you got to go here to find things, level up weapons. So I didn't enjoy it at all. I stopped. I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. It just doesn't feel right from a campaign perspective. It just felt like Warzone with you kind of remember that one game, Battleborn, if you remember that, guys, where it's basically it was Gearbox, where they basically made
I
a
remember that.
hero shooter, but then said, hey, we have a campaign, but their campaign was literally just the levels from the hero shooter. And there was some checkpoints and goals and things like I'm like, no, this is not right. It's not really a crafted experience. It's just making you feel like it is.
You you said there's an 18-month development cycle. Just looking up, I was kind of curious what the development cycle is. So usually, Call of Duty franchise has a 3-year development cycle, rotating between Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and Treyarch, and then support of other studios and that kind of stuff. This one at 18 months is so rushed and is coming before 2024's game, which has apparently been in development for 4 years over at Treyarch.
Yes.
So, they really just hung this game out to dry.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sledgehammer, I feel bad for that team too. And I think they were in a position that's crappy, and especially right after the acquisition too, where people are putting, crap on them. And I don't put that on the developers. I put that on the leadership that hopefully he'll be gone by the end of next month, and we don't get that, and those teams will get to breathe a little bit and enjoy some creativity in their craft because it's the biggest franchise and you don't want to kill it. But Activision was known for milking everything till it's dead and then discarding the carcass. I mean, Tony Hawk Ride, I mean, need we say more? But and then the zombies, same thing there. Zombies was always known for a tight experience in closed spaces, in those rounds, and like, can you survive? And it was amazing. They once again drop you into Warzone, and it's open, wide open. We're talking like huge areas. You feel like it's empty, and then you have to then escort a tank, and it's slow. And the zombies come out and you're doing that. Yeah. I just feel like it's a huge miss. So I'm glad I got that from Gamefly. I know the multiplayer is probably in a good spot. It's got a lot of Modern Warfare maps and things that makes it successful. But for me, as a person that's where I look to Call of Duty for, huge miss. So I'm hoping Microsoft will give them the things, and like you said, 4-year development. I think Treyarch and the other teams will hopefully benefit from that and make a great game. I think it's going to go back to Black Ops, which I always enjoy those games. I heard it's going to be actually set in the first Gulf War, which, I mean, we're talking like
I don't think there's ever been a game set in that Gulf War.
don't know. I mean, we're gonna have Wolf Blitzer on CNN. We're gonna have like what's his name, Warren Schwarzkopf.
Norman Schwarzkopf, yeah.
The original George W. Bush or Herbert
George
Walker,
Bush.
which Bush, whoever. Yeah, that
Bush
Bush,
one.
the first Bush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
HW.
yeah. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm hoping for the turn events and those teams get time to really improve Call of Duty, because it's it's a huge game, and it is essentially a blockbuster. And I don't know what other franchise can come out every year and be the best game every year. I mean, I feel bad for those teams, but hopefully it'll be better. So that's what we've been gaming, and at this point, I want to give a word from our sponsor. Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencaster. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencaster is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencaster because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencaster has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencaster? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencaster. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencaster's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencaster's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with a click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high-quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to zencaster.com/SFU and use our code SFU, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experience I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show. All righty. It's the fun part of the show where we can just have a good time. And the bonus round this episode, I proposed this to Mark and Lee, and I tried to put a spin on a negative viewpoint. And we kind of probably come to a good point of, like, if you're familiar with Festivus, George Costanza, it's what his dad came up with, Festivus for the rest of us. There's a part of that's called the airing of grievances. Essentially, the world of gaming is great, but there's certain things that a lot of us just don't enjoy. And I think that's the whole point. So I said, what are we not thankful for in the world of gaming? We just came off of Thanksgiving. We're thankful for a lot of people, the wonderful people in our lives, the people we game with, the games we love, and everybody doing positive things in the world. But what are we not thankful for in the world of gaming? So I can kick us off if that helps. And we can go from there. We'll do a little round robin. So I will say the thing that I'm not thankful for is the fact that we're seeing a lot of publishers really put the developers in gaming into a no-win situation. They're basically forcing them to develop their games around nonstop content to basically create a new marketplace. Games as service, live service gaming. And especially teams that have never done it before, that essentially it's a no-win situation, because it's essentially requiring people to stick with a game and only that game and spend a lot of money on it, where previously they only made games that were essentially a single player experience. And so I can really highlight one of those games, and that's Gotham Knights, or not Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad. So that is from Rocksteady Games, who has only made single player games with Batman, the Arkham Knight series. And I feel like that team, we don't get many games from them. and it's essentially been like almost 7 years since the last game, and I feel like we're not going to get experience from them, and this game is already left dead. And because it's essentially going to be a game that's supposed to live on and on and on, get more content, things you buy, and it's not really focusing on the things that people love in their style of games, which is a great story, great combat mechanics, and it ends. And I feel like that is a recipe for disaster. Studios will be blamed why they didn't work rather than being late to the party and knowing that that's something where very few games can succeed. So I'm not thankful for games as a service being this area where it's essentially it's a trend that I hope ends, and it essentially someone will learn their lesson and move away from that. We did get a good thing from WB Games, where the Wonder Woman game, where they came out and said this will not be a game as service game. So maybe they're learning, but if not, I hope this goes away. I'm not thankful for games as service because it's just ended so poorly. So many games have ended. So many studios have been impacted by it, and I hate that this is what we're at today, because it's just there's not many FortNites, and there's a reason for that.
Yep.
So that's I'm not thankful for that. So who would like to go?
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Hey.
I'm actually, you know what, just thinking of this question, I'm not thankful for the obscene size of some of these games today when it comes to their install size and the amount of drive space they're occupying. You're looking at some games that are now hitting 100, 120, 140 gigabytes, and it makes me sit there and wonder what some of the compression methods that are being utilized and why they aren't utilizing it properly. What was it? I think it was Battlefront 2 that I remember it hit somewhere close to 90 gigs or so. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Now,
Lee, I think you're even just like undercutting the fact that I think the latest Call of Duty, once I downloaded the game, the campaign wasn't even included in that download.
There you
I
go.
had to go to the campaign and download the campaign in
Right.
2 parts after the fact,
And
that
to
was
that,
like 200 gigs.
And to that point, Todd,
Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is 190 gigs. I think it's the biggest, or was the biggest.
To those points, think about some people who need to download these games, yet they don't have the internet connection to do it, right?
Yeah.
I was just at my aunt's. She had a 5 megabyte per second download speed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, when during Extra Life this year, we were spoiled. We because of where we were located. We were at Herkimer College down here in Herkimer, New York, and they have an esports management program, and they have a very strong esports program. So we had a direct connection to a 1 gig internet connection. So downloading games was not an issue for that, but not a whole lot of people have access to that. I just upgraded my internet here at home to a 1 gig connection, and everybody else around me is still, I still see some houses here that they're telling me they're still hitting 50, 40, 30. That's pretty minimal considering, and of course that speaks more to the infrastructure of where I'm located or where other people are located. That speaks to that, but man, just the size of these games with they have these hyper realistic graphics, 4K, all the bells and whistles, but that's a lot. That's a lot to download, and that's a lot to maintain on your hard drive. How many people have more than 1 terabyte?
You've got a Series S. I mean, those launched at 500 gigabytes with
Right?
probably 300 gigabytes of usable space.
Now, and this is coming from somebody who has an 8 terabyte space hard drive just for my games. And that's because I never want to be able to. I
It's your
never
Steam
want to
library.
really. Yeah, I just don't want to uninstall anything. But that's why I have. That's why I bought an 8 terabyte SSD. It's just it doesn't make sense to me how the size of these games and how they're just becoming so obnoxiously large. Um, I think that's something that I'm definitely not thankful for.
Isn't it amazing that the Switch launched with a 32 gigabyte
Right.
storage?
Right.
I mean, that's just amazing. And a lot of their carts, the game isn't even on it. You have to
Yeah,
download it. Like
exactly.
what is it? And NBA 2K, it's like
Yeah.
32 gigs on the cart, or they don't even pay for that. They pay like an 8 gig cart, and then it's like, oh, everything else you got to download. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely
Yes,
crazy.
we. I mean, although I just looked and you can get a 2 terabyte PS5 drive NVMe for $120, but
Yep.
yeah, and that's just crazy. But then Xbox, you could still have to pay 125 for 1 gig or one terabyte. So yeah, let's fix this issue. So I think Switches 2 is probably going to have. Okay, quick question: how much storage space will the Switch 2 have? Just really quick, how much do you think?
64. I'm not even joking, man. It's gonna come 64, and they're gonna do the exact same thing. Buy a memory card.
Buy a 2 terabyte SSD.
They're going to
Maybe
need to really.
128, but we're not going there. You have to remember, it's a mobile device. It's
Yes.
so like iPhones and stuff, base model. You're thinking about those. Like, what's a base model iPhone now?
128.
Is it 128?
Yeah.
I thought it was still down at 64. So maybe
it's
the
128
Switch 2
now.
will be 128. Okay, all right. So maybe, but that's an iPhone, right? So I'm still thinking there's going to be a base model 128 or like 64. There might be two models of the Switch that come out. There's like like they did with the Wii U. You can get the basic one, or you can get
You can
the
buy an
deluxe or whatever
SD
the
card
hell it
that's
was.
less than 128 gigabytes these days.
And that's it. Well, maybe that's who knows. But I honestly I think they'll probably do 64, maybe 128.
That would be such a huge mistake on their part. In my opinion, with the prices of SD cards, micro SD cards, particularly in the 256 gigabyte space, that just doesn't
Micro
make
Center
any
gives
sense.
those away. I can go to Micro Center and they'll
Yeah.
give me one right now.
I
Well,
mean,
here you go. Maybe
you have
Nintendo can
flash
say,
drives.
"Can you give us some hard drive space, please?"
You have
I
flash
think they're going
drives
to
that
play
are.
it off with, maybe you can just take your SD card out of your Switch and put it in this new one.
Yeah.
Most people are going to be bringing their own SD card that they already have games on. Well, we're making it easy for you. We have 64 gigabytes of internal memory, and your memory card works. They're going to come up with some stupid way to spin it that sounds like, oh, that's great. And we'll be all like sitting here just like, come on, Nintendo. Where'd you even find those? At the dollar store throwing it away? Like, why are there 232 cards taped together, literally just taped together with masking tape? That's what they're going to be doing in this thing. But like, everyone's going to eat it up, and myself included. So
at least you're self-aware.
I love it. Yeah. Nobody expects anything from Nintendo. We only can say thank you and may have another one.
Thank you. Next,
Mark.
Yeah.
Mark, what are you unthankful for?
I'm gonna go on a similar kind of note with padded or expanding storage needs. I'm gonna go just with padded games in general. And what I mean is just like padded out for time, padded out for content. Games are bigger, more expensive. And with that comes the expectation that's like, every single game has to be an 80-hour experience or a 100-hour experience. And it's like, sometimes I want to turn my brain off and play Bluey for 2 hours. Shut up and take my money. So I don't think games need to be padded. I think the games that are the best possible games are the ones that just tell the story that they need to tell, and then they finish, and sometimes maybe there's some stuff to do afterwards. Maybe there's a new game plus, but I hate the padding of games. I'm almost finished with the replaying the original Pokemon game, Fire Red. Well, the remake of the original Pokemon game, and I forgot in those early days how much padding there was and how much extra end game like grinding there was, because for the most part you can play that game straight through, and by the time you hit the gym you're pretty much leveled up enough to take on that gym until you get to the GD Elite 4, and you have to spend 16 extra hours in a cave leveling up your friggin' Pidgey to take on the Elite Four because you're going to get trampled. And it's just like, oh, why do I have to put this much extra time in this game? Just let me finish it. Let me take this thing out back and shoot it in the head and go back to work. Like this, sometimes the game just needs to just do what it's doing. And I expected this on Jedi Survivor this year because I thought it was going to end at a certain point and then it didn't end, and I was like, are they padding out this game? Because I am going to lose my shit if they pad this game out. They ended up not actually padding. They took it
No,
in different directions, and I thought it still had a very
it worked for the story.
satisfying story and conclusion and whatever. But that is such a instant turnoff for me. Of like, as soon as I feel like a game's just being padded, I'm doing just, and I'm not talking like going off in like that, oh, look, something shiny, and you go off and do a side quest. That's not the kind of pattern. I'm talking about like, okay, now we have to backtrack right to the start because you forgot to pick up this thing that we need that we've never mentioned until right now. So let's go all the way back there, and you can't fast travel because that system's broken for this mission. Okay, have fun for the next 10 hours doing something stupid and useless. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about here. So I think that needs to go away. I'm okay paying full price for a game that doesn't feel bloated and useless.
Assassin's Creed Mirage. That's speaking to you, Mark, right?
That's the one.
There
That's
you go.
they trimmed the fat. Mirage was just a great kind of like, here's the story we want to tell. We're going to tell it this way, and it's not going to be 260 hours long. Think the maker. Just yeah, they heard those issues, I think, with Mirage.
So I have one more, and if you have another one, please let me know. Mine is I'm unthankful for the fact that my developers are getting older, and I don't know how many games they've got ahead of them. And the fact that games are getting longer, I don't know how many more games I will get out of them. Which would be to the fact that I don't know when we're getting the next Elder Scrolls game. I love Skyrim. It came out in 2013.
Mm.
It's 2023. And uh, with Starfield coming out, which Lee, you loved, it's the fact that Todd now is saying, I think it's finally in production, the next, Elder Scrolls. And it just makes me feel like, wow, we just can't go 17 years between series. I mean, so that would just tell me that we probably have to, what can we do to manage, I guess, turn your part, Mark, breadth of games, size of games, and frequency of releases. Because, I don't know when we're getting the next Halo game because Infinite, I thought we were going to get more campaign. I don't know if we will. So
Mm-hmm.
when's the next one? Last Halo game the games are just getting longer in between their cycles to create games. And that's worrisome to me. And I just worry that there's bright spots in the industry. I mean, think about this. I mean, Insomniac, I think I talked about this. They have made 3 Spider-Man games since 2018. They have made so many games, and they're all high quality. And I'm just wondering what the secret sauce that they have versus other studios where it feels like they just struggle to put out a game at all every 10 years. And I don't know what we need to do, but I would take a smaller Elder Scrolls that I would get every 5 years rather than wait 20 years to get a huge game that that you may not get to experience in the same way you would before. I mean, there were how many Elder Scrolls games in a row, and then between Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, there wasn't many gaps. And yes, you've got more textures and more things and more immersive, but I don't know what the driver is. And I was hoping that some of these engines, maybe that's a problem, they're using a proprietary engine. I was hoping all these tools would help developers get off those shackles from the technical pieces and just focus on the creative. But yeah, I mean, GTA 6 still isn't even out, and that's been on 3 generations of hardware. It's just so frustrating that games are just taking so long to make, and I don't know if it's good for the industry. I mean, Baldur's Gate. You had Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2. How long did it take to get to Baldur's Gate 3? 15 years? Yeah. And it's a fantastic game. Just too long, though. So I'm hopeful that we are going to get behind that, and we can get smaller experiences that keep us engaged with these wonderful franchises so we don't forget them. But yeah, it's frustrating that they're taking too long. I mean, it's been... I mean, we had Odyssey in 2017. When are we getting a next 3D Mario game? I mean, that's almost 7 years between games. So I'm not getting any younger, folks. So get moving faster. George R. R. Martin still hasn't put out his latest book. Man, oh man, my goodness. Oh well, that's what I'm unthankful for. Too long of dev cycles.
Lee, do you have another?
Escort missions.
Oh,
they're still making them.
One where you have to follow the NPC, not the NPC following me. That's fine, but the one where you have to follow the NPC, and they have the specific route that they have to take, which is like the dumbest route ever. I've experienced a few of those in Diablo 4. And it just annoyed the piss out of me. Like, I would run around them in circles and I just shoot at them because
when they move slower than you can possibly move.
Yeah.
And like you're pushing a millimeter on the control
running
stick
backwards
to try, and it's still like you break the game to moonwalk backwards, and you're still outpacing this idiot who's running into a box for 15 minutes that's put 100%. In their path by the same developer. Like, oh yeah, no, yeah,
yep, nope, 100%. That's it. It bothers me to no end, and it just feels like you're waiting for this game. It almost feels like you're looking at a load screen in a sense, right? Because you're waiting for the game to process it, and I just can't sometimes. And to what Todd is saying, like we're getting to that age where we don't have all the time in the world. We don't. Nope. We just let's go. Let's play.
Yep.
Cut the fat. Cut the fat out.
Cut the fat. Yep. I think that's the general theme of this whole discussion. Cut the fat.
Yeah. It seems to be. Yeah. Because my next one is very similar, and that's stealth in games that don't need stealth, which is like, and when it's like, it just like, if you're going to make me do a stealth thing, make the person look away so I can sneak past them, or just don't penalize me for like shooting him in the back of the head. Cause I don't have the time to wait for like Johnny NPC to turn around so I can like creakety creak past him, and then he like snaps back and he's like, oh, I spotted you. You have to start over again from the last checkpoint 47 minutes ago. No. Bang, bang, you're dead. I'm going to just plow through the rest of the mission my way and just suck it up. And I hate when they just don't let you do that. It's like,
it just turns into this like long and tedious mission.
Yeah. I've got 7 machine guns in my back pocket. I don't want to be quiet today. Just let me play how I want to.
If I'm truly a badass, I want to be a badass stealth guy. Don't make me feel like I'm a plotting moron that I've got bells on my
yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. Guess what?
Make
the
me
Gears
feel
of
cool.
War guys aren't being stealthy. They're going to chainsaw, flip, kick, destroy everything in their path. I don't need that kind of character to have a
Or,
stealth mission.
yeah,
Why am
or
I
like
wearing my squeaky shoes?
where your character, where you yourself, you've just failed a mission because you couldn't do the stealth. It's like,
No,
what if I just don't want to do stealth? What if
nope.
I want to go in, guns blazing, leave my mark, move on to the next level,
Or something like, okay, and if it
get off our
absolutely
lawn?
and if it absolutely you have to do stealth, okay, sure. But like, let me be smart about it, because like sometimes you do stealth and you're like, I want to go through that grate over there, and then the grate's
Yeah.
just a wall that you can't
Yep.
go through, and it's like, okay, well now what do I do? There's no other way to do a stealth thing, and you just have to wait for the stupid like timer thing of the stupid guard to walk
Mm-hmm.
past the right way, that there's only one single path that you have to do. And it's like, if there's only one path for me to do this stealth mission, just make it a quick time event. I don't have the patience. Like, I don't want to sit here and like, you sit there and you wait for the pattern to go by and your Xbox starts to fall asleep and your controller turns off and you're like, I'm awake. Don't worry about it. You finish a whole bag of Doritos and the guy finally walks past you and you're like, okay, cool, I'm on to the next room. And then you trip
Right.
over a paint can and you got to start over again. Like, that's the kind of stuff that drives me absolutely insane.
Yep.
I've never asked for better AI from enemies in a stealth game.
Yeah.
Like, I want the dumbest morons in the world. It's like, oh, squirrel.
Usually. Yeah. I want this like super advanced, like this AI in my stealth game is going to just turn into Skynet and take over the world. Like, that's
Pretty
how
much.
smart I want my AI in stealth games. Because, yeah, the dumb ones just don't do it.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. Okay. Anything else you're unthankful for?
You're opening up a can of worms here, man. I'm usually
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
All of a
know.
the
sudden
I
now
know.
it's like,
happy
I
fella, and
know.
you're making
see,
me feel some feelings.
now
So
we're getting grinchy.
we just
These
yeah.
are all opportunities for improvement, I would say. These were like
There we go.
ways. Please take this as opportunities. This is, I would say, constructive feedback
Yeah.
to developers, right? I
Stop
mean,
announcing your games 14 years too early, and then only having a JPEG logo that some jackass intern did 4 minutes before you went on stage. Don't do that.
yeah,
Announce a game
I don't,
2 months before it's released.
or
It's the
not
same company doing
knowing.
both. Nintendo will be like, hey, here's a new Mario game. It releases in 2 days. And then the other time they're like, hey, here's Metroid, suckers. Wait
Oh,
19
Joey Ferris is
years.
gonna
15
rage
years
if
later.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime does not come. 4 does not come out on the Switch proper. He will
Jesus
rage.
Christ. If that's not a launch game that comes out for the Switch and Switch 2 for launch, like, I'm going to light something on fire.
Hey, if you're playing, what's that one game, Star Citizen, that
Yeah.
has not even released?
It
It's been out.
technically
It's
isn't.
raised $250 million,
Mm-hmm.
and it hasn't even released in like a releasable. Maybe it's gonna be out now eventually. But just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, just crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, I think we should probably end on a positive note. So I'm thankful for all of you. Not unthankful.
Ah,
I'm thankful for all
yeah.
of you. It's so great. It's good to see everybody's faces again. We're getting into the holiday season. It's going to be wonderful. So I hope everybody has a great end of the year. We're going to get into all the fun stuff. The Game Awards are coming up next week, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that as well. So I want to say thank you, Lee. Tell people where they can find you.
Easiest place, I will say this, just go to phoenixoverdrive.com. We have all of our social links there. That's, and then all of that will be tagged to me because that's where I am, pretty much follow me that way, and you'll find updates for all of Phoenix Overdrive's activities. Especially as we come into the new year, we'll be quite busy into this coming new year. So, like I said, we'll be celebrating our 10th year of doing Extra Life. So we hope to make it into a huge bash. We hope to have as many people as possible come join us from everywhere, and we're just so excited to keep doing our thing and keep making our mark in changing kids' health and their futures.
That's awesome. I love it. You guys do awesome stuff. I was watching the feed. It was fantastic. I donated as much as I could
Yes.
and tried to highlight your efforts, what you guys are doing. So
We had a
congratulations.
fantastic
That's
time.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yes. 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 So Mark, tell people where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere as _Canardian. Not really active on X anymore. That seems to be a dying cesspool day by day. But I'm over on Threads trying to be a little bit more active there. And my main places are Instagram and our Discord channel. So if you want, again, to hit up that FortNite event this Saturday, let me know on Instagram or Discord.
Excellent. And same with Mark. I'm just on X just to keep it, stuff is out there, but primarily I'm on Threads and Instagram as well. Also in our Discord at Toxtra and Secret Friends Unite at, I think it's at secret.friends.unite on Threads.
Correct.
Dots. Lots of dots. There you go. And at Secret Friends U as well. So you can find us there. Check out everything we do. We're always putting out new content. I hope you enjoy that. And if you want to hear more about certain things or request us to do certain things, let us know. Like we're looking for the next Spinner Rack comic to cover. So if you have one that you want us to cover, let us know. So Lee, Mark, thank you so much. You make my life so much better to talk about video games and share our stories in all our glories. So with that, remember, folks, it's always better to game together.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for more great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and other podcast services around the world. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can join us on Facebook or our new Discord server, or follow at Secret Friends U on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends Unite on YouTube and visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search Secret Friends Unite. Thanks for listening.